now that we have listened to our story, we are going to be making our own snowy day picture. And in our picture, we're going to have these kinds of trees. Now, these trees are what we call birch trees. And birch trees are special because their bark is white. And then they've got these little lines in it because the bark kind of separates a little bit, and you can see the brown wood underneath. But you may have seen these out in the woods because we have birch trees here in West Virginia. And birch trees have that nice, pretty white bark, and then it kind of splits and cracks, and then you can see the wood underneath. So we're going to be drawing a snowy day landscape. So the first thing we need to do is make sure that our paper is going landscape, okay? It's going long landscape, not portrait tall. Long landscape. Long landscape. Okay, now the first thing we're going to do is we are going to draw our ground, okay? So get your, I've got my marker, and we're going to start here in the middle, and we're just going to draw a diagonal line, just a short one. It doesn't even come to the middle of the paper. Just a short one, doesn't even come to the middle. Okay, now come up a little bit on this line, and we're going to draw another curved line, and this one's going all the way over to the other side of the paper. Okay, just a little hump, just a little hill, like you might see out in your backyard maybe. Or maybe you'll see it out here when you're outside on the playground. You can see how the ground is just a little bit of a hill. Okay, so we got the first one that comes down just a little bit. Then we got the other one that comes up and then over to the other edge. And then our last line, we're going to come back up on this one. So find about where I'm pointing with my finger on your paper. And we're just going to draw a curved line up and over. Another little hill there in the back. Okay, so once we have our ground, now we're going to go back and we're going to draw our 3 trees. We've got one on the left, one in the middle, and one on the right. So watch how I draw these trees. Now, if you look at this, look at my tree. What letter does that look like? Do you see a letter of the alphabet? Maybe one of the ones towards the end of the alphabet. Does that look like a capital letter Y? Okay, we're going to be making capital letter Y's, okay? So first thing you're going to do, we're going to start over here on the left. So on this first little hill we drew, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to start here at the bottom, and I'm going to come up, and then I'm going to curve all the way to the very top of the paper. Go all the way to the very top. And it's kind of like a sideways rainbow all the way to the very top of the paper. Then I'm going to come over just a little bit, and I'm going to draw another sideways rainbow, but this one's going over to the right, and it goes again all the way up to the very top of the paper. Make sure you're going to the very, very top of your paper. Don't just stop right here, because then the next step isn't going to look right. So make sure your lines go up to the very top of the paper. Now, to finish this off, all we're going to do is we're going to start at the top of our paper, and we're going to draw the capital letter V, as in victory. V, okay? So I'm going to start at the top, I'm going to come down, and then I go back up. Capital letter V. And then it makes it look like a Y. So the trees are really easy if you just listen and follow the directions, okay? So we got our first tree done. Now we're going to come over and we're going to do our second tree, the one in the middle. Okay, so we're going to put this one right here in the very middle of our paper. And again, I'm going to do the same thing. I start on the hill and draw a curved line up to the very top of my paper. It's got to go all the way to the top, all the way top. Okay, then I come over a little bit, and again, I'm going to draw and curve to the other side, all the way to the very top of my paper. From the hill, all the way up. Okay, and then again, at the top, I make that letter V. So I start at the top, come down, and go back up to the top. Top, come down, and go back up to the top. Capital letter V. Make sure you go all the way to the very top of your paper. And now we've got our second tree. Okay, last tree on this last hill over here. I'm going to come up and curve over all the way to the very top of the paper. Remember, we got to go all the way to the top. Then I'm going to come over a little bit and do the same thing, just curving over to the other side. All the way to the top, from the hill all the way up. And then I'm just going to put that capital letter V right in the middle. Make sure you start at the very top of your paper to draw your V. And now we have our 3 birch trees. Now we're not going to add the cracks in them yet. Those little brown lines, we'll add those with our marker here in a minute. First, we need to finish drawing. So we've got 3 more things to draw. We need to add the sun first of all. So the sun is going to go right here in the middle between these 2 trees. So up near the top, you're going to draw a circle. Does it have to be a perfect circle? Nope. Just draw a circle because that's going to be our sun. That's going to be our sun. Now, when the sun is out and it hits a solid object, it creates a shadow. Okay, so we're going to have some shadows. Our trees are going to make some shadows now. So we're going to start over here on this one. Now, all we have to do is start at the bottom of our trunk and just draw 2 lines going down to the very bottom of the page. So watch. I'm going to draw a line going down toward the bottom. And then I draw another line going down to the bottom. Okay, so they started right here at the bottom of my trunk and went down to the very bottom of my paper. That's going to be one shadow. So that's this tree's shadow. And it's going kind of to the left. Now this one is going to be leaning over here towards the right. So watch how I do this one. I'm going to start at the bottom of my trunk, and I'm just going to draw a line down to the very bottom of my paper. Okay, we're filling up the whole paper. So it goes all the way down to the very bottom of my paper. Now my next one, I'm going to start at the other side of my trunk. And it's going to go down to the bottom of the paper down here. Make them come all the way down. Okay, all the way down. This is the shadow of the tree. Okay, now our last tree over here its shadow is going to go over to the edge of the paper. This one's not going to come all the way down because it's going to run into this hillside right here. Okay, so it's just only going to come down to the side of the paper. So I'm going to start over here at the bottom of my trunk, and it's going to come down to the hillside or to the edge of my paper over here. Okay, don't take it all the way down to the bottom. This one's going to be a short one, and then this one goes off to the side here. And we've just got a little shadow over here. Little short shadow. Okay, now the last thing we need to draw is our snowman. We're going to add a snowman right here in between these two trees. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to draw a circle down here, but I'm not going to draw the bottom of my circle. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to come up and curve around kind of like a rainbow. Okay? Came up and curved around like a rainbow. Then we'll draw another smaller circle on top of that. And then I'm going to draw one more little circle on top of that. So I've got the 3 circles of my snowman. Okay, now I'm going to zoom in on my snowman so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see my snowman. I'm going to put them both side by side and see what they look like. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we're going to draw his scarf. Okay, so I'm going to start over here, and I'm going to draw a curved line underneath. And then I'm going to draw from this corner, I'm going to draw a line down. And then we'll draw a little line over and a line back up. And that's going to make his scarf. And then under, I'm going to put 2 little circles for buttons. And then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to do a couple more buttons. I can do 2 or 3, how many ever I can fit. Add a couple buttons. And then he needs some stick arms. So I'm going to draw a line coming out. And then I'm going to draw the letter V at the end. So this also looks like a capital letter Y. And from the other side, I will line out. And then I do the capital letter V. And now he's got 2 arms. Okay, now for his hat, here's what we're going to do. We're going to start and we're going to put an oval on top of his head. Remember, an oval, we start with a circle and then we stretch it out, make an oval. And we're going to draw over our pencil lines because this is going to be black, so we can just color that in. So it kind of looks like he's got a halo, like an angel. Just draw you an oval at the top of his head. And then we're just going to add a square on top. And that's going to be his hat. Okay, next thing we need to do is we need to give him 2 eyes right under his hat. we're going to draw a long, skinny triangle for his carrot nose. And then we're just going to give him a smile. And then we have a snowman. And we're ready to color. So I'm going to zoom back out. And then I'm going to give you guys a minute to finish coloring. And then we're going to get our bag of supplies. And we're going to start coloring our snowman. So once you're done, get your bag ready. Give you guys a couple more seconds to finish, and then we're going to start coloring. Okay, first thing we're going to need is a black marker. Black marker. Get your black marker. Okay, now we're going to draw over the lines of the ground, those 3 lines on the ground that we drew. So we start with our first one. And then I'm going to do the next one that goes all the way over to the edge. And then we'll do that last little hill. So I did my 3 ground lines. Okay, now I'm going to outline the shadows. Am I going to outline the trees yet? No, because they're going to be in brown. So don't do your trees yet. We're doing the shadows, okay? Just outline the shadows of the trees going down to the bottom of your paper. Outline the shadows going down to the bottom. Okay, those, and then I'm going to zoom back in on our snowman so I can show you what we're going to outline on the snowman. So finish your trees, and then I'm going to zoom in and we're going to look at our snowman. Okay, so we're going to start at the bottom, and I'm going to outline around that bottom snowball that makes up the bottom of his body. And then I'm going to outline my buttons. Now, if your buttons are so small that when you're outlining they get colored in, that's fine. Because that's probably going to happen with my 2 right here. They're very tiny, but that'll be okay. Now, in my middle snowball, do I want to outline the whole thing? No, because I've got my scarf up here that I'm going to do in red. So I'm going to start at the edge of my scarf and go around the bottom and stop at the edge of my scarf. Now, if you go ahead and outline the whole snowball, is that okay? Absolutely. It's fine if you do that. But I'm only going to go from one edge of my scarf around the bottom to the other edge. And then I'm going to outline my 2 buttons, and see how when I outlined they colored in? That's fine. That's fine. Okay, now I need to do his head. So I'm going to start with his hat first. I'm going to outline the square. And then I'm only going to outline the oval where it goes around from one side of the square to the other. I'm not going to do the whole oval. Kind of like I didn't do the whole snowball. I'm not going to do the whole oval, because then I can just color all this in with my black crayon and it's going to cover up those lines. Okay, then I'm going to outline the rest of his face. Do his eyes, and again, his eyes are so small when I outline them, they get colored in, which is fine. And then I'm going to do his smile. And then I'm done with my snowman. So I'm going to zoom back out, because now we need to finish our snowman and do our sun and our tree. So I snapped my cap on my black, I'm going to put it back up. And I'm going to go ahead and get my yellow marker out. Okay? And I'm just going to go ahead and outline my sun. And where I used a pink marker, that's kind of turning my marker line kind of orange. Because red and yellow make orange, and pink is almost a red color. So it kind of made it look orange. So I outlined my sun, snap that cap, put that one up. Then we're going to get out red. And I'm going to outline his scarf in red. Red scarf. And he's got a carrot nose, so what color is that going to be? That's going to be orange. And again, where it's so small, I just color that in with my orange marker. That's okay. And if you colored in yours with your orange marker or your red marker, that's fine. Because mine, I'm just going to color mine in because it's tiny. So I'm just going to color my scarf in. And then I don't have to worry about it. Okay, and once you've got red, yellow, and orange done, we need our brown marker because now we're going to do our trees. And we have to do the arms of our snowman. So I'm going to start with my snowman, and I'm going to do his arms in brown because they are sticks. And they're going to be brown sticks. And then I'm going to outline my tree. So I'm going to outline them all first. So I'm going to do the outside in brown. And I'm going to do the V in brown. Outside in brown. Inside in brown. Outside in brown. Inside in brown. Then once I'm done outlining those, now I need to go back and add my little lines in. So I just draw these little diagonal lines, and they don't have to be perfectly straight. They can be kind of curved, and they're not going all the way across. They just kind of come in a little bit. Some can come in more than others. Some can be really small. And I'm just kind of zigzagging up my tree. Just zigzagging up my tree. And I'm going to do that for all 3 of my trees. Zigzagging up. And again, some can come kind of a little out, some can come far out. I'm just zigzagging up my tree. Just adding those little lines. I'm going to do my last one. And then once I'm done, I snap that cap, put my brown marker up, and then I'm ready to color. So the first thing I'm going to color is the black. So get your black crayon out, black crayon, and we're going to start with his hat. So I'm going to color his hat, and as you can see, when I'm coloring his hat, see how I'm just coloring over those lines? It evened up my Sharpie, so it's definitely going to cover up your pencil lines there. And we'll color his hat black. And then I need to color my 3 shadows. Now be careful when you're coloring, you're not coloring the snow, you're just coloring the shadow. So color your 3 shadows. Be careful, don't color your snow. Color in between your black lines, black marker lines for the trees. And then I need to go back and finish coloring in my buttons. If you got your buttons colored in with your marker, then you don't have to do that, but I need to. Gotta get my buttons. So I'm going to color in my shadows, color in my buttons. Then when I'm done with my black crayon, I put it away, and I'm ready for my yellow crayon. And the only thing that's yellow is our sun. I'm going to color in my sun. And then when I'm done, I put my yellow up. Okay. The last thing you guys need to color is your sky. So I'm going to put my example back up here a little bit so you can see the sky. Okay, so when you're coloring your sky, let's take a look. You're going to color around your trees, around your snowman, and then look, you color inside of the V's. Now, are we coloring with a blue marker? Is this blue marker? No, this is blue crayon. So you need your blue crayon. Find your blue crayon, and you're going to color all around. Now, am I coloring the snow down here? Nope, you're not coloring the snow. You're coloring the sky, blue sky, in between all the trees, around your snowman, and inside those little V's of your trees. So go ahead and get your picture finished color, and I hope you guys had fun. And until next time.